Hi there. So today I'm going to show you a painting that I didn't do, but it's something that was done probably well over 100 years ago. I bought it at an antique show back in Michigan when I lived there. And it's this cute little cottage and a little saying, and all the lettering is really kind of Art Nouveau, and it's a watercolor, and it's ink and watercolor. So it's just this really cute little painting, and the frame is really old too. But it says, "The house is yours. Its portal opens wide and welcomes you to all inside. Dear friend and guest, enter in peace and rest. The house is yours." So I bought that. I just thought it was so sweet, and I love the little cottage with the little fire, like a little smoke coming out of the chimney, and I just thought it was so sweet. And I lived in Michigan for 3 years, and I would go to antique fairs with my best friend, and she was an antique. She liked certain types of things that she would collect, and we just went and we just had such a good time. And I remember her so fondly, and that was quite a while back when I did that. But I still have those things around me, things that she gave me as a gift, or things that I purchased in that antique fair from people who loved these pieces. They were either collectors or there were things that they were selling of their own. And I bought a chair from someone, I bought a table from someone, I bought jewelry from someone else. I bought some beautiful things that were from the Middle East that were made with, let's see, lapis, and just beautiful, like a little tiny box made with lapis, and a lot of things like that. I bought some wonderful pieces, and I still have them. We all have things like that that give us, good memories or good vibes, or they make us feel good. And I can't tell you how important it is to keep remembering those things and keep those things in your heart. This is just a dried hydrangea from a bush that we have in our backyard. And the hydrangea is a plant that Digit used to love. And I used to have these in a pot on the bookshelf. And she would just come into my office when we lived in the house before this, and she would climb along the bookshelf and she would eat these dried flowers. She loved them. So we have this great big bush in our backyard now that are of these hydrangeas, and so we've kind of dedicated that bush to her. But we all have those things that have kind of a meaning to us, that kind of generate kind of a deeper sense of who we are. Some of them are very private. Some of them are just things that we want to share with other people. But they bring us back home to ourselves again. I have this little, really pretty little ornament, little heart ornament, and I keep it out to remind me. I don't just keep it out for Christmas. I have it usually by my desk, where my desk is located in the basement, and it just makes me happy. I think it's pretty. It has gold in it. It's pretty colors. It's artfully made, and I just think it's beautiful. So I love things like that. I've made things like that. I love giving things like that to people. I love this one I bought for myself because I just thought it was really pretty. So we all have things like that. It's just simple, simple ways of reminding ourselves to be who we are at the very best we are. We're coming into fall and into winter. And here in the Northern Hemisphere, that can be challenging for some people, just based upon maybe you really need to be around the sun more, or maybe you really, have challenges when it's darker, and it can challenge you emotionally or make you feel not quite as good. And so it's a time to really amp that up and to really bring ourselves to a place of understanding that we've got everything within us. We've got all these things around us to remind us of what we need to know. It might be spending more time outside. Here we have sun 200 and some days a year, 280 some days a year. And so we have lots of sunlight. And it is said that if you really, the most natural form, and I think the only natural form of vitamin D is spending time in the sun. And so if you spend about 20 minutes a day, it gets a lot of that vitamin D into your system, and it's good for you to get out and breathe the natural air. It's good to be out in the sunlight. It's good for your skin. It's good for your hair. It's good for your soul. It's good for everything. So get out and do some things that really bring you to feel really good about you. It might be taking a walk. It might be just sitting in your yard and enjoying, the beauty around you. I know a woman has a beautiful, beautiful yard, and she has a lovely chair, and she sits out there and she meditates in her yard all year long. Even in the wintertime, it's just this really special place, and she has things that remind her, little pots and maybe chimes or something like that. And all year long, and she's quite a gardener, and she's made this quite a wonderful place for her to be. And so, what is that for you? How is that brings you back to that sense of yourself? Because I really believe that the very best we can ever do is to bring ourselves back to love, to return to love, to return to taking the high road in whatever it is we're doing, and the words that we choose, and the thoughts that we think, and the ways that we are with each other. It's easy to take a knee-jerk response to something, but it takes greater strength to really kind of stop and just pause and think about what it is you're saying, or where you are, or where the people you're with, maybe they're triggering you in some way, or something's happened that you don't quite understand how to manage it. Just pause with it. Take some time to yourself to understand that you've got everything within you, and just with a little bit of time, with a pause and a break, and maybe spending some time sitting still in the stillness, or meditating, or listening to your favorite music, or just doing something that keeps you in kind of a still place. Now, meditation is a really powerful thing, and I think there are schools now that support people in meditation. You'll see things all over the world where people gather together and meditate in massive groups. But if you can do it by yourself and for yourself, I do this every morning. And I tell you, when I come out of it, come out of the meditation, and I might do it for 20 minutes, I might do it for 3 hours. Sometimes I don't know how long it is, because I go into this very deep place within. And then when I come out of it, I am inspired through the day. There's an idea that comes to mind that I don't think I would have had otherwise, because my thinking mind gets in the way sometimes, And so I just really invite you to find that place, that sacred place, that holy place within you. And a lot of people think that when I talk about sacred and holy, I'm talking about religion, and I'm not. I'm talking about the wholeness within you. That's what the word whole means. It means to be whole. It means to be holy. It means to be sacred. And sacred means to be whole. It means the same thing. If you look up the etymology of these words and go clear back to the origin of Old English or German or sometimes Greek, whatever that might be. If you look up the etymology of these words, it kind of tells you where they came from, and then you kind of can research. I love that because I'm a writer. So I look up what words mean. And so I use a lot of words in my books, and I use a lot of words in my writing, and I use a lot of words when I'm speaking to you here to tell you certain things, to share with you, to extend to you these things that have a deeper meaning, that go back generations and generations, hundreds and hundreds of years, and sometimes millennia. And so we can always bring that back to ourselves, whatever that is that brings us back to that wholeness within us. What is that wholeness? What is that grace within you? What is the elegance within you? What is the sacred place that runs you, that brings you back home to yourself, that causes you to then take the high road, to choose your words carefully, to opt in for something that's far greater, because you're choosing to be someone who's going to be supportive to someone else instead of tearing them down with words, or choosing to be someone who's not going to take an opinion of a group of people that you love and you want to be with just because you want to fit in, but maybe you don't feel good about that particular mindset those people are in. So you choose to make a decision about how you're going to be with them. And sometimes that means to step away. Sometimes that means to just excuse yourself and just take a break for a moment and come back. Or maybe it chooses not to be with those people at all. That's kind of how we understand how these things are. I have a number of friends that are making really conscious decisions about directions they're going and how they want to go about it. And I'm doing the same thing with what I'm doing with this, with you here, with the messages they give you, with messages that I send to people, with messages that I am now calling in to what I'm doing as an online, reaching out with people in an online direction. And there's, at the bottom of every one of my videos, there's a link there. And if you want to know more, check that link out and it'll tell you a little bit about what I'm doing. And I invite you to join us because we have this really strong group of people that are gathered together and we're doing this together. They help me, help me understand things that they want to know more. And then I go into that and I speak to that, or I might write about that in the messages that I send out on a weekly basis to these people. And I'd love to have you join me and have you be a part of our group because it's a really good thing that we're creating and we're doing it together. So again, as Grandma said, I just send you lots of love. And to know that that love that is within you and the love that is your heart's extension to what it is that you love to do, the love that you love, know that you are within the greatness of who you are and how you extend that to the people that you love and to what you love to do with your work and what you love to do with your hobbies and how you love to be in the world. That this is an amazing thing to do and how you shine when you do it, how you shine your light, how you shine and extend that in an energetic way that people may never even understand that they got that from you. But how powerful it is to know that when you're in that mindset and you're in that way of being, it has such a positive effect on whoever you're with. So I send you lots of love. And I know that you are good and life is fine. And it's all within you. Everything you need to know is within you. And until I talk to you again, have a good few days. Bye-bye.